Years ago, there was an American anime. So successful that thanks to it, they did another series. Oh, and there's Teen Titans Go. I never saw much of it, didn't think it was for me, but then someone attacked our friend and fellow reviewer, Masterpiece. He talked about Fox My Life, the animator did a Star Giant, and made the return of Slade, to pretend he'd been attacked. Only when I saw the episode, it was more than expected. What Fox My Life did is what Teen Titans Go was accused of doing.
I don't need your backhanded compliments, hoe-ass, fucking horse-ass, bitch.
Teen Titans wasn't just popular, it was also quite innovative as animation and had fans for many a reason. Then Go was to be made and they tried to keep the fanbase, pointing to it being a continuation, just a bit more of a comedy. In practice, it's more like Attack on Titan Junior High, a parody using ideas for being nonsense. That's why many like to pretend Go always said it's for kids after getting that public. And then they did this episode, besides others also seen as criticizing the fans. Indeed, they criticize the fans here. Robin announces their most popular villain would be back, everyone's cheesy, criticism of how much focus he got, and then the real story starts. They're really rubbing it in on the audience's faces, that they heard it, won't do it, it's a bad idea, as well as Robin and Starfire's fling, and throw a party for Slade being defeated, taking with him everything the fans wanted. Only there's more here. It's no exaggeration associating the story's ideas to how they see the fans, but it gets even more interesting when you give the benefit of the doubt. Why? Because they prove it's the wrong attitude. There are two scriptwriters, and it seems one of them wrote, an episode, and the other just Sherlocked the audience. Cyborg and Beast Boy want a clown, but don't like the show, say he's too childish, and create a liquid that makes him more radical, and he goes around changing series and toys to more radical versions. Radical, for the young'uns, was a word used in the 90s
Super radical tá chegando na pista.
to make said young'uns think something is wonderful.
It's radical.
By advertising people who don't know Lobo is a parody, or why Poochie was removed from the cartoon's cartoon.
Cartoon!
Not that one. Robin says it's nostalgia and will be the extreme clown's victim, which even Raven will find funny. That is, violence can be funny, but it's not so here, and maybe that's why Cyborg makes sure to explain the poorly done joke. Moreover, we have Raven, the unfortunate counterpoint, saying that clowns are for kids and children's programming is sacred. She watches their version of My Little Pony, so I suppose this is meant to say it isn't nostalgia, or that liking kids' things is not bad. Children's programming is sacred sounds like something the creators would pretend to hear from the fans, doesn't it? She'll get profoundly angry seeing that diminutive horsey became dark after a DVD menu, no idea why, and says the villain has to remember how he was. Everyone goes as clowns, he laughs, but it doesn't work. That is, different forms of humor don't exclude one another. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty easy to ignore anything here after they spat on the audience from the start, and even have Cyborg saying clowns have to be age appropriate, and Beast Boy saying he can't be a kid forever because there are no clowns for other ages. But the solution is Starfire punching the villain, saying she'll never trust clowns, after being afraid for the whole episode. To put it clearly, the clown is the show. In fact, the clown's routine was childish. Robin calls it classic, but he just throws bowling pins up to fall on him. Robin must know it, since he does more than that at the end. The substance that makes everything radical is the second attempt. The first is similar, but makes it all sugary, as if for girls in the 80s. Meaning, we're talking about exaggeration when adapting. Seeing how the radical spreads, it seems to be above all about when Batman was successful, and instead of trying for the balance the series had, leading to an animated universe, everyone went for realism. with all the possible quotes, I suppose the better half tells us we should read critically, not trust the clowns, and not participate in what doesn't look good for us. But I'm mostly talking about this because, 1, I never heard anyone talk about the more interesting part, and with the lying advertising people calling everyone else a liar, it's no surprise, not unlike Ghostbusters 2016. And 2, what we'll be seeing now does just the bad part of the episode. The rest are poorly thought out parts attacking the arguments, many without even understanding them. On top of literally copying Masterpiece's avatar, cursing at him, and then getting more people together to curse at him once again. First part, the characters finish a show when a horse with familiar colors shows up and says he wants to do a review of the show, which is kind of dishonest. Master commented on a post the creator made about having reviewed the series. Yes, it's not the most common of practices, but many smaller creators can benefit that way. The reviewer might get more views, the series can get more attention. That aside, half his criticism here is him pretending saying movement would be wrong.
Some of the worst animation, movement.
I know our movement is not quite fluid.
No, don't talk about movement.
Because separating smaller and bigger parts of the animation would be bad? In fact,
A animação dessa série é bem ruim. Os personagens parecem estar deslizando do que caminhando na maior parte das vezes.
it's just like
Some of the worst animation.
so honest. But the lack of honesty doesn't end there. They throw he would have seen too little,
I've been watching you for weeks now.
that he'd review the performance to pretend criticism about the background doesn't make sense.
What does the forest have anything to do with our performance?
That the South Park style would be the comedy, though Master was still talking about the animation. Also, they throw that the animation is getting better, as if the issue were effort, the thing Master said he saw on the show.
Deu pra ver que tem esforço aqui.
And they kinda say the previous series are inferior, if not to every series that uses puppets or still images.
What'd you say, fool?
There are 2 other issues that are different. One is that there might have been a translation error. Master saying, "I'm not gonna lie," could have sounded like, "I'll be very honest," which the horse says. There are those who use such expressions to dress up attacks, but still, the idea was that he'd be direct. And nothing points at Prop Josh here being able to speak Portuguese. The second is that Master talks about doing stories that work for the style, but it seems that Prop Josh thought it was about the comedy. It's about the planning. You want someone falling on the water will move. You don't want to move the water? Do it off camera. There's a moment where the characters walk away at the end that's long for no reason. If you want the time, do something so it's not monotonous. You control the camera. The idea is planning better. And we finish with the fox complaining there was only one compliment, and the horse thinking he did something good and that it was an honest thanks. The old balance argument, but even worse than usual. Demanding someone speaks well of you isn't arrogant at all. Imagine that. Second part, Fox Depressed considers the criticism and Turtle talks about practicing and it'd be alright. Hey, introspective? We'll see some development? Don't hold your breath. The turtle talks about wanting to be like South Park is just because of the cursing. They go to said park of the South, where we see 2 animals passing by. One animated like in South Park, so Josh knows how to animate, and the other that barely moves, so maybe not. After the turtle talks about them being hilarious and having more fans, we see his version of the 4 boys and it's painful. Cartman calls Kyle a shrew because it rhymes with Jew. Cause this animator didn't bother to find a joke that could fit. He just rhymed. Why do they have trapezoid bellies? Did you draw over the models? Caprice de Noel is looking at this and getting embarrassed. I confess the crap joke almost worked, because it kinda fits the style. They say there's a Mr. Hanky, look at the poop, and they say it's Cartman's. I mean Fartman's. How could I ignore this brilliant parody? The sleepless nights, days reading a thesaurus. not that. But the pause ruins it a little. It's just meant to say they're different, that South Park is being political, and that only a dumbass would think they're similar. Only, as I said, Josh didn't get the idea. Third part, a female wolf says the two of them are not from there because the fox isn't as funny, but the turtle is. It must hurt to review your script, so it makes sense, right? And then she's invited to join them because she has many fans, and they show the birds. I assume this has already been established, because by itself it makes no sense. Nonetheless, the fox says they only have males in his group, and that maybe the reviews would be better if she was a part of it. It's kinda out of nowhere. It seems Josh put this here because he thinks that's what critics want to see, instead of a red balloon. It's like South Park being political for talking about fires. Who'd talk about fires in a forest, right? But he says she has fans. It makes sense inviting her, being female or not. You are proving how myopic you are. Finally, fourth part, Fox depressed. Turtle said it's been months. All of these premiered over a month and there seems to be no break, before anyone thinks it's a genuine representation of how the creator felt. Fans say they love the show. I wonder who wrote this. And when it's over, the horse returns, compliments them, and they all curse at him. And it seems for a moment it's all for some reason when the wolf says,
"And that's what you get for stating your honest opinions."
But I hope you didn't hold your breath. The audience joins in to curse at him, the female wolf shows up to attack as well, and the horse goes away. All of them attack him. Yep, someone thought in good taste to have 4 episodes adding to almost 10 minutes with the premise, don't criticize me. And then when Master commented on the first chapter of the saga of bullying, he made sure to say he should see the last part.
Você pode fazer uma boa paródia de um youtuber na sua animação. Ironicamente, South Park já fez bastante paródias sobre celebridades, e o que faz as paródias deles funcionarem tão bem, provavelmente o próprio Josh não vai gostar muito disso, mas eu tenho que ser sincero, é a criatividade deles. Você não vai só falar que a celebridade é uma pessoa ruim, você vai demonstrar, vai exagerar algumas coisas para deixar o episódio mais engraçado, mas sem tentar ser desonesto com o que você está mostrando. E diferente do que muita gente pensa, você pode não apenas fazer com celebridades, mas com youtubers também. Vejam, por exemplo, The Enigmatic Mr. Exit e Saber Fart. O Enigmatic Mr. Exit era originalmente uma paródia do Mr. Enter, que o canal Mobile Studios fez, e depois ele mudou um pouco o foco para ser mais uma paródia de resenhas em geral, mas se você for ver as paródias dele, elas são realmente muito bem feitas, bem construídas, e ele coloca o personagem dele exagerando em alguns pontos como um crítico raivoso, mas ainda você tem como você ver e falar, isso aí faz sentido, parece que a resenha dele é uma resenha e não só uma paródia. Outro youtuber que eu mencionei, o Saberfart, ele já exagera muito mais, ele coloca várias piadinhas estilo LS Mark ou Hot Diggly Gibbon pra zombar na maioria dos casos. É uma paródia tão bem feita que você percebe que aquilo lá não é uma resenha, é uma paródia do que as pessoas acham que são essas resenhas. Então acaba entretendo mais por essa questão. Você não tá lá pra ver a resenha, você tá lá pra ver como que ele faz o próprio personagem e o universo dele. Eu acho que é basicamente isso que eu tenho pra falar. Eu não pretendo fazer um vídeo sobre essa minha aparição em Fox My Life. Eu pretendia fazer, mas meio que eu percebi que, não vale a pena. Mas eu achei que eu podia contribuir com esse vídeo com alguns desses meus comentários, então aí estão.
I'm sure he doesn't see himself as a bully when he gets everyone together to attack someone. I'm sure he doesn't think it's dishonest to twist things, nor think it's incredibly stupid to assume he understands another language, well, literally distorting everything to pretend he's right. I'm sure he has no idea how much he lies to himself. I've only seen these episodes and the very first. I'm not criticizing the series, but I know that no one that does this really deserves attention. This is how embarrassing what you did is. That's what you get for trying to humiliate someone. Here, this is a badly done video of mine. Let's see how poorly thought out is your version to pretend that twisting everything is okay if you pretend you know it's wrong. Please don't you forget to subscribe and hit the bell.
Red.